Welcome back to the video blog. My name is Adam Daniel Mezei, AdamDanielMezei.com. Trying something a little new today, a little Super 8, going back in time. Well, I guess it's appropriate because I had a chance to watch Ridley Scott's fourth film, which was called Legend, shot in 1985. I saw the director's cut for the first time. I'd seen the US release version, and this was the first time that I had a chance to catch up with the European release, with the original score, the original classical score, some extended dance scenes, and some other kind of bits that they just didn't include in the American release. I really enjoyed this film. Tom Cruise was in it, Mia Sara was in it, Alice Playton was in it. Who else was in it? Richard Picardo. Some really interesting actors. David Benent from Switzerland. Some really good actors that you don't see around these days. It's good to see them in costume, in full costume, totally letting themselves go in character, totally letting themselves be whoever they want to be once they put that skin on. I really like going through these phases where I'll totally engross myself in a particular director's oeuvre or his work. This was Ridley Scott's fourth film at the time. He'd shot The Duelists, Alien, Blade Runner, of course, was his third film, and the one that really allowed him to break out into super director stardom. And Legend was kind of a way, in his words, to get over the hump of shooting a fantasy movie, which would allow him to then deal with films that had real people as their subject matter. And that was basically the attempt with Legend. What I really like about Ridley Scott is he takes an idea to the end of the line. He basically will be willing to brainstorm practically anything that comes to mind, craft it out, draw it out. He's an artist by trade, so he has tremendous storyboarding and sketching skills. He'll write it out, and he'll talk with his people, and they'll decide whether or not they actually want to run with the idea. Most of the time, they don't run with the idea. But he's unafraid to actually list ideas, flesh them out, just throw them out onto the blanket and just shake them out and see whether or not there's something that would actually work in his movie. He's not afraid to try things. He's really not. And that's why he's a visionary. That's why he's able to garner the kind of film budgets that he does. That's why actors really like working with him. In the modern era now, he's working with Russell Crowe and collaborating with him. That's why Russell Crowe really likes working with him, because it's a completely open environment. He's totally unintimidating, even though he's a commanding presence on a film set. I really listen when Ridley Scott talks, because I really admire and appreciate what Ridley Scott does and what he's done over his career. He's not only I guess you'd call him a director, but he's also a camera operator. He knows how to work gear. He understands the parameters of what gear is all about, and actors really like working with him because he's a really pleasant sort of a guy, and he's a real maven at what he does. And I was glad to have dunked myself completely into the special features this weekend, learning a whole heck of a lot about how some of the actors in the 80s, which was an interesting era in Hollywood, and how that was going on, and some of the trials and tribulations that Legend faced for the $25 million budget that it had, believe it or not. There was an arson, there was a fire at Pinewood Studios in London, there were actor troubles, there was some voiceover dubbing, there were problems with the costumes, all kinds of stuff that you don't know about that, thanks to the magic of DVDs and special features, we're able to find out about today. So, Ridley Scott, I am a total and abiding fan of yours, and it's really good to get back into some of your old work. I fell in love with the first film that you shot, The Duelists, and it just carries right on through the same energy. I hope you liked today's new format, Super 8, going back in time, and as always, I wish for you many good things.